Hello everyone, this is Deathproof and here we are, the box is here, and don't forget to go here in this tab and press this one to take all of your gifts. It's from maintenance and I'm using that every time after the daily reset they're doing. Okay, these things here, I'm not sure how I get them. And in the first video I'm gonna pop up some loot boxes and that's all, end of the video. No, it's not true. The truth is that I'm gonna show you how I built my boy here, Mr. Fisk, Kingpin. Yes, he's rank 65, and as you guess, I pump up a ton of resources on him. I dropped like Odin's Blessing, super mighty, brilliant CTPs. No, that's not true. And yes, I'm having like 4-star roost. As it seems, no one tier 3 him day 1. And yes, he's like that. I don't, not even stage 12 powerful Hungry Hulk. He got a CTP of Raid, but that's from 2 days from now, ABX. And I already mythic his uniform. His options looks like that. X23, Thor, Medusa, and Thing. Thing is good because he's a support. Mr. Fadax, that's the best uniform for Mr. Fadax, so it's cool. Medusa, you don't really need the third option. If you're liking ignore defense, okay, you need it. But in general, Thor is the basic and Mr. Fadask, and that's the two best uniforms for these two characters, so it's cool, it's cool. And yes, I'm gonna, also I'm gonna show you, because I did download it from tweets just for you guys. I'm gonna show you how much, wrong video, yes, that's the video. I'm gonna show you my reactions on his gears going to 25 and how I'm doing it. That's let me show you all the process. That's the process I'm using in tweets to get the gears with cheaper than usual. As you can see, basically no one can see. You have to be psychic. It's 7,900 EOD and TCP. And in total there, yes, you can't see it, it's pixeled, but you can see how many 21, yes, 2 times. You can see my expressions, at least 2 and 7. That was cool for first gear. I started with 7,900, and yes, I'm working also, it's from the live stream of tweets, and after I did the fourth gear there, and it's the one with the ring. And yes, 5, it's cool. 3, really cool. 6 only. 11 and 19. Okay, it's if your last it's less than 20, it's super cool, you know. After 20, it's the sad things happens. And now I'm going to the second gear, I think. Yes, and that's the 5th. That's the 7th. 3rd, oh my god, 3, 16, 14. That's cool. It's not like super good, but it's good, it's good. I liked it. I like this because I start with 7,900 and at the end I think I'm gonna show you how many, but I end up spending less than 2,000 in total, even with pressing the button for the tier 3. And yes, here we are, and yes, here is our boy. Okay, let me show you in the real game now. I just want to show you the luck of me. It was really lucky. I started with 7,900 EOD and TCP. I had pretty much the same. Basically, I had the same, but I opened some boxes from story mission after in the Twitch stream, and as you can see, I went from 7,900 to 6,000, and I opened like one with 100 EOD, and the TCP I opened 3 boxes with 250, one after the other, and I took back the materials. But generally I spent it less than 2,000 EOD and TCP for Kingpin. That's really cool, you know. It was cheap for me. But now I want to show you his firepower against world bosses. I test him a bit, I try to compare him with other characters, but you know what, the real comparison here, if you want to compare him as a combat villain, it's kind of hard. You want to compare him with guys like Apocalypse, you know, for ABX, of course, you're forced to use these characters. But in general, I'm not sure. It's like Mr. Fantastic to compare him, or Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi is also a combo type. So there's no characters being having the same typing, you know, and being comparable. Mr. Fantastic and Carnage and Apocalypse, it's the only villains that are in the game combat and having any real value. So yes, it's kind of hard. Everyone, Mr. Fantastic and Apocalypse, they are bad for World Boss Ultimate and World Boss Legend. Mr. Fantastic perhaps it's good for World Boss Legend in the phase that you can use only combat types, and he's getting buffed from Thing with a mighty energy. Perhaps he's good for Mephisto, but besides that, I don't really feels like he's good. And let me show you what I figure out is the rotation of Kingpin. And yes, my rotation, it's pretty, you know, from, it's not really good, I guess. But what I'm doing is cancelling everything into my 4th skill, because in the 4th skill there is a proc. And in your 5th skill there is a Berserk buff. So you want to proc on your 4th skill, and or in your, how it's called, or in your tier 3. Here, as you can see, you're getting a proc, and if you land the proc on the tier 3, you're having a lot of damage. Of course, yes, it's let's see the 5th skill, how it's drop. Yes, perhaps the 5th skill is better to use, like cancel the 4th skill into the 5th skill. Let's see. Okay, let's see this tier 3, what's gonna happen. It's just, okay, I paralyze here, that's why she's staying there and not going into the next phase. Yes, it's not like disgusting, but you can't say like 1 minute into the stage and not clearing it yet. Smells like no World Boss Legend, no World Boss Ultimate value there. Yes, you can see I was planning to use this skill here. It's the 5th skill. You're giving this skill gives you Berserk, I mean the buff, and there is a proc here. So I was like using the 5th skill and end up in the 4th skill and something like that, or you know, use the 4th skill and after the tier 3 to get the proc from the 4th skill into the tier 3 and have value on it. But as it seems, you know, let's start with the 5th skill. Now with the raids you can have the proc in both skills, in 4th skill and in 5th skill. So yes, using the skills one by one and wait a bit perhaps has more value for our boy here, for Fat Boy 3000. And yes, this is with a rage proc on, guys. A tier 3 with a rage proc on, and was that bad, you know, less than 2 bars there. Yes, of course he got no ignore defenses, and that's really important for World Boss Ultimate. But still, guys, I mean, yes, my tier 3 here get cancelled. But, you know, if you want to build a character to have him for the game, Kingpin, and buy his uniform and pay 700 crystals for it, because there is no sale on this uniform, you don't really want him to participate in the game like that, you know? He feels bad, and he got CTP of Rage. Of course, yes, perhaps another CTP could be better, but CTP of Raids is one of the best for World Boss Ultimate. You have to realize that. I'm not playing like KNULL stage 40 or something, and I'm using CTP of raids. Yes, of course, I put the CTP of raids goes in a couple of days. Basically tomorrow, in the next reset we're gonna get, it's the day to test him for real. That's the real test for him, the ABX. But at the moment, you know, as I'm waiting, I test him with a proc, and he was even worse with the proc. He was like, for World Boss, I test him only in KNULL. I test him in tweets, so you can go through my tweets and see it if you are curious about. I'm giving him 100% ignore dots through the strikers, so you're sure that the hits are landing into the boss. But our Mr. Fisk doesn't seem to be a World Boss killer and World Boss Ultimate or World Boss Legend. You're gonna find out, guys, here that he seems. Let me proc on the 5th skill and do the 4th skill after to take advantage of the proc. Yes, you can see there. Yes, okay. Let's land this tier 3. Yes, the proc is enabled as the tier 3 progress through. You can see the Snorlax move there. Yes, I'm not 100% about his rotation. I'm testing it, you know. But I want to give you the general vibe. Yeah, here I cancel the 4th skill to have the proc on the tier 3. The proc of the 4th skill, I mean. But I didn't have the raids proc. So yes, it was my bad. Let's see my 4th skill here. Yes, I enabled the proc and now I have not good skill to use on. Let me show you here the proc of the 4th skill. Enter raids together. You can see 5 to 6 bars. Okay. But that kind of timing, you know, 1 minute is from characters having an obelisk. In my, in my book, 1 minute and 20 seconds is clearest time for characters with an obelisk. And let me try again. Perhaps it's like 4th or 5th time I'm using him in World Boss Legend in KNULL, and I'm getting the same results. You know, 1 minute, 1 minute and 10 seconds. And yes, perhaps I'm doing real bad rotation. Let's check for cancel 5 or something like that. Let's see. Okay, I get cancel. I get my skills cancelled there. Okay, let's try to do 4 cancel 5 and see the 5th skill, how it's gonna progress through. Yes, I mean, okay, let's go for 4 cancel 5 cancel 6 to see if this all damage gonna translate. Yes, enter proc rates there. 3, 4, 5, 6 bars. Was that? Or less? Yes, you know, he has no damage, guys. I know, it's bad for a character that just took a tier 3 and his damage being so bad. I'm curious to go and check my Apocalypse. What Apocalypse can do here. I can't remember how good. Yes, of course, my Apocalypse got a ton of Odin's Blessing, but he also got a CTP of raids and a uniform. So yes, let's see. Yes, you can see there, it's pretty much the same timing. And he got his own leadership. It's 40% physical attack. So yes. Mr. Fisk, what you gonna do with you? Let's see against Apocalypse. Where is Apocalypse? There is no Apocalypse here. He's somewhere. Yes. Look at this build. Apocalypse literally costs double. He needs 3000 CCF. He got a CTP of raids and he got... Okay, I thought I had really cool Odin's Blessing on him, but I don't. Okay, let's test him like that, just to understand the value of Fisk. If he needs with a raids 1 minute and 20 seconds or 1 minute and 10 seconds, what? And I test him with an obelisk and it was like 2 minutes and 30 seconds, guys. I was trying to proc on the 4th skill or in the 5th skill or in tier 3. Whatever I was trying to do, I was having bad results. Let me show you my Apocalypse here. Yes, he's not the best, but yeah, it's the only character you can compare him with, you know, because he's a combat villain. Also, I'm not going for the perfect rotation. I'm not saying I'm a maestro of Mr. Apocalypse, but just to see the value of a character, you need to compare him with the same typing and the same buffs. And yes, that's the character that costs double. So yes, for combat villain, perhaps Mr. Fisk is valuable, because the next thing you could do was having Apocalypse. But look at this, Apocalypse, one of the worst characters for World Boss Legend, seems to be better. Yes. No, it's pretty much the same, guys. I mean, the developers took a character that it was bad, Apocalypse, and they said we're gonna fix Mr. Fisk and Kingpin with a new uniform and with new gears and new, and make him being exactly the same with the last combat villain before 3 years for World Boss Legend. Why, guys? Why they did that? I mean, why, if they give us a bit more of buffs or something, they gonna break the game or something? How is this even possible to do all the mathematics there and all the thinking to have him being the same with Apocalypse? I really dislike his face. I really dislike Kingpin as a character from Marvel Comics. I don't like him. I like the actor from Daredevil. That's the only thing. I like the, you know, the Winter costume generally, but he feels like a pass. If you're not ABX Burnhead, and we're gonna see if you even need him. I mean, I built him in advance to be sure, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna use him in ABX. Perhaps in the next sale for an equipping event, he's gonna be the next guy, cause Apocalypse feels to be better, at least for World Boss Legend, or the same, you know. If it's the same or better for World Boss Legend, perhaps it's the same for ABX, but we'll have to find out in a couple of hours or days, depending on when I'm gonna upload the video. In other news, this patch is really hard. I had like hard time clearing the 11, and I'm gonna have even worse time clearing the 12. I didn't try it even yet, but yes, generally Spider-Man looks dope for PvP, looks bad for PvE, but I'm gonna drop another video for him. I'm gonna do some tests, perhaps it's my rotation like Fisk, but I'm not sure. I just want to give you some sugar, guys, to have to in your, you know, the flavor of the sugar in your mouth of this update, and I'm gonna drop more videos about it. See you in the next. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment if you want to see something special from this update. That's the first review for Mr. Fisk, and incoming the ABX review. Bye bye to everyone.